Hello everyone, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Perry Ellis. It is none other than Perry Ellis's 360 Reserve, or Reserve by Perry Ellis. It's not 360. It looks like 360 other bottles that were created, but it wasn't given the formal name of 360. Very similar to the other bottles. The only difference with this one is it's pure glass, pure white all around, and it just has the black label that says Perry Ellis on the side of it. But other than that, very simple bottle. This one's been in my collection for a long time. This is actually my favorite one out of the Perry Ellis or the 360 looking bottles. Red smells like Aqua di Gio, a slightly better version of Aqua di Gio. Black, the rest of them. This is the one that I like the most out of the rest of them. So, as you can see, I've used almost half of the bottle of this one. This one was released in 1997. The parfumé of this is Mark Rosen, who also created the 360 original one, another one that I like. But you're going to find this as a cheap buy. This you can find anywhere between $10 and $30 generally. It's not something that goes for expensive. You can also find it bottled and bundled up with other fragrances. So this is going to be a cheap buy for you. But because it's so cheap, or because it's so inexpensive, don't assume that it's a bad fragrance. It's a pretty good fragrance, and let me get on to that. Let's go ahead and start with the notes. The notes. Now bear with me, there are a lot of notes for this one. Bergamot Champagne Life Scent, grapefruit, lavender, juniper berries, and geranium leaves for our top. For our mid, we have white carnation, black rose, hedonine high, sage, thyme, and tarragon. And for our base, we have oak moss, sandalwood, exotic woods, and amber. This scent was originally made by Perry Ellis to be part of the formal line. In fact, when this first came out in 1997, you could only find this in the luxury or the high-end Perry Ellis stores. Basically, wherever they sold suits is the only place that you could actually buy this fragrance. And what they used to do was they used to give you a little sample anytime that you bought a suit. Now, I got this information actually from Base Notes. I had no clue, but looked it up elsewhere, and actually this fact is true. So this was originally only paired with suits and with formal wear with Perry Ellis that you could actually go ahead and wear. So that's kind of the thought behind it and why it was designed. It was designed to be that formal end wear. Does it stack up to it? Absolutely. What you get when you spray this is something clean, fresh, invigorating, at the same time formal and very subdued. So this is a fragrance that is not going to offend anyone. There's going to be very, very few people that take offense with this scent, if any at all. The worst thing that they'll have to say on this scent, and that I've seen with it, is that it smells just like cologne, something that somebody could remind themselves of cologne. This from a scent kind of reminds me like a lower end version of Humaniste by Frappin. It has that juniper berry kind of kick to it, the same thing that Frappin that Luministe has, or Humaniste. It has that same type of a kick, for those of you who know that fragrance. It is very fresh, very invigorating. It has that woody kind of undertone to it that remains through it. This fragrance will last easily for 8+ hours. Can be seen, even though it ideally fits the warmer weather, you can wear this one in the cold weather because of the fact that it's so sharp, and it will project very fine, very excellent in that manner. So it really is an all season round type of a fragrance that you can wear for it. Ideally, I say formal wear, and this was my workhorse for work. All of this was pretty much worn to work at one point, so that's where all of this went. I don't wear it much as of recent. Occasionally I'll pull it out just for kicks, but I wear other scents to work. But this used to be my workhorse for work, and it'll suit you perfectly if you go for those kind of circumstances. You can also wear this on a date or for a romantic occasion. Personally, I'll go for something a little bit more less formal, but it'll suit you for those purposes just fine. So, what other people thought about it? Let's see what they thought.
That's a nice scent. It's clean. It's refreshing. It's definitely something that I would wear because it smells easy. You give it an A.
I like this one. It's a little bit woody, earthy. Smells like your urban man looking for a job and or a lady. I would give this one a definite B, B plus, borderline A minus. Back at you.
You're just smelling cologne, nothing necessarily to a thing. Give it about a B. It's something I would use. But it smells pretty good.
So as you can see, there were some pretty positive marks for it. Comments were clean, refreshing, a cologne, reminds me of wood. The ratings were A, B, A minus. B plus, B pluses from it. It was very good in the rating sense, and even outside of those people who reviewed it, people thought that it was a very good fragrance. So it's not something that you really want to pass up. It's definitely a crowd pleaser, but at the same time, I should remind you from Ed's note that it smells like a cologne, just like a cologne. That is what a lot of people also said as well, that it just reminded them of a cologne and nothing to really go by. All right? So if I'm going to go ahead and give this ratings, I kind of wanted to do away with ratings a little bit just because overall, I just kind of want to get rid of them. But either way, if I was to give this a rating, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a fragrance that lasts. Again, for a fresh fragrance to have this kind of power by itself is a little bit more on the rare side. The scent itself is great. I have no complaints about the scent. And for the price, you really can't go wrong with it. So if you're searching for something for that, definitely look at it. What I will do instead of doing the actual ratings on overall is to kind of give you why should you buy it or why shouldn't you buy it. So why should you buy it? You should buy it if you're looking for an inexpensive, nice smelling fragrance that's not going to offend anyone. If you're looking for something that will do well in formal occasions, at work, maybe even a day fragrance, take a look at this one. You might not want to pick up this fragrance if fragrances that are sharp bother you. If fragrances that are generic or don't really have any standout appeal, if those don't appeal to you, you probably want to stick away from this one, because there are going to be some people who just think you smell like a standard cologne from it. But and finally, the other reason that you might want to stay away from it is towards the end of the actual fragrance, it kind of loses a little bit of that kick, even though it remains through it. But again, it lasts over 8 hours on my skin, and I haven't seen any complaints regarding the longevity for this one. So if you have any questions whatsoever on Perry Ellis Reserve, please feel free, let me know, leave a comment down below, tell me some of your experiences with it if you have it. Either way, have a great day and take care of yourselves.